Thank you very much for that as we call on the NPP representative, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the MP for Manhyia, to take the next slot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. The chiefs and people of Volta region, good day. Fellow Ghanaians who have met here, I wish you all the best of today. I think I would start by commending the Graphic Communication Group for an excellent platform for all the political parties to talk about ourselves and how we want to move our country ahead. I am particularly honored that the Volta Regional Party of mine invited me to be part of this program. And I'm ably supported not only by my party chairman, Kenwood Nwosu, the General Secretary of the Volta region, Kofi Boateng, who is my very good friend from university, Dr. Lecha Archibald, who's our parliamentary candidate for Ho Central, former MC Mao Togo, and a leading member of the party still of the region, and Frimpong Hiniset, a chairman of Ho Central. Fellow Ghanaians, we in the MPP believe that leadership matters. That is why the 1992 Constitution was drafted around a leader. I'm very happy my senior colleague says he was part of the drafting of the Constitution. And I hope he can share with me that this whole Constitution particularly has been drafted for the benefit of the President. So it matters very much to the aspiration of Ghanaians who the President is and the qualities he is bringing on board to help us move forward. After 55 years of independence, with all our God-given resources, Ghanaians are still confronted with widespread poverty. We need a program of transformation, whichever party wins, for Ghanaians to start enjoying and feel proud of being Ghanaians. We are now proud of Ghanaians because of historical reasons. But we must feel proud that we live and work and survive in Ghana. And we believe by transforming the economy, promoting good governance, respecting the rule of law, and proudly serving Ghanaians, we will be able to transform the quality of our lives. For far too long, many of our people are just struggling to make ends meet. We have no lifestyle apart from struggling to make ends meet. Our infrastructure is weak and incapable of supporting the proper function of the country. Our lives are filled with unreliable power. Rationing keeps coming in waves. Poor roads, poor water, poor potable water to drink, access to quality education virtually non-existent. Ghana has been ranked the second lowest country in the world as per sanitation. No wonder cholera is everywhere. We have the lowest savings rate in the world, probably, and one of the highest interest rates in Africa. We have achieved a lower middle income status by struggling along. But, the big but is, the world is not waiting for Ghana. We have to continually transform, adapt to the global competition for us to enjoy a decent life. That is why I share my honorable friends statement that should it so happen that NDC wins, we want to guarantee a growth rate of 8%, at least. With a growth rate of 8%, I'm sure in 6 years we will double our GDP. But where are we coming from? And where do we want to go? That is why we believe leadership matters. Political party manifestos. I was just thinking, what is a manifesto? And I realized that a manifesto is a statement of wish, really. A proclamation, a pronouncement. A statement that you want to do something. But for political parties, a manifesto then becomes a public declaration of your policy and your aims that you think that when you get elected on that, that is what you are going to pursue. That is why President John Evans Atta Mills in 2009 State of the Nation address said that the NDC has been elected and the governing policy of the government is the NDC manifesto. Not every political party has been able to, I haven't seen anywhere in the world, where every political party has been able to achieve 100% of its manifesto. But it is how your track record can be evaluated when you get access to service, get reins of government, that we should assess you on your track record. Poverty rate in Ghana was over 50% in 2000 when President Kufuor came into office. Every single study that has been done, that by the time President Kufuor exits office, poverty rate was 28%. If Ghana had been able to move poverty from 51 to 28%, and I'm sure the NDC government is trying very hard to reduce it further, then something good must have happened. That is why we of the MPP are proud. And we say that our rule was for care, competence, and achievement. We created a society of opportunity for all. There are a litany. I said we should assess governments, not what they say now, their track record before you can assess whether they can deliver what they are going to say. My colleagues have said a lot, but probably their track record shows something else. Governance matters. That's why we said bad governance results in a bad country. That is why a great leader some years, hundreds of years ago, said that in a poorly managed country, or in a badly managed country, success or wealth or prosperity is to be ashamed of. And in a properly managed country, poverty is to be ashamed of. But when you look in this country, we focus on poverty, not wealth creation. We focus on we are poor, we are poor, we are poor, not how can we improve our wealth creation abilities. So what does our manifesto seek to do and achieve? In Volta region, our track record, I would leave it for my party chairman who would have some minutes to talk about Volta region, what the MPP achieved in Volta region. And I can dare say that in the last 30 years in this country, no government has achieved in Volta region what President Kufuor achieved in Volta region in 8 years. In the area of education, I want to start. We came to beat in 2001 a system called fee for service that had been introduced in this country by our predecessors. Where even when the child was going to school, he had to put on his head the table and the chair, plus the books that the fathers were going to buy for. But you hear people claim that everything is in the Constitution. This Constitution that we operate, senior citizens of the land, was written such that the president should abide by it. That is why he swears to protect it. And it is good that my colleague quoted Article 25 for us. But let us see what really Article 25 says. And let us see if it is incumbent on somebody to tell us that it is in the Constitution, so what? Article 25 says, and I quote, all persons shall have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities, and with a view to achieving the full realization of that right. It is one. It is the Constitution. But what steps are the political parties taking to reach that goal? It's important that your manifesto should be fashioned based upon the vision, the hopes and aspirations of our Constitution, to give flesh to the bones in our Constitution. A, basic education shall be free, compulsory, and available to all. B, secondary education in its different forms. There are secondary education which is vocational, there are secondary education which is technical and things. Secondary education in its different forms, including technical and vocational education, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means. And in particular, if you are enrolled on the scheme, when you go to the hospital, for the benefits under that scheme, you don't pay. So it's financial access. So why are we all saying that the NHIS is good? Because we don't have health facilities access everywhere. You go to some districts, they don't have hospitals. You go to some hospitals, they don't have doctors. Does access affect them? No. For a pregnant woman who lives in a village, who is about to deliver, who cannot have access to a hospital or supervised delivery in the shortest possible time, such that she bleeds to death, what has the card done for her? That is why I will still go back to the director of the Ministry of Agric. We are somewhere and we are going somewhere. We shouldn't make it look as if we have done nothing, but we are still. Since Nananum started, the Togbenum started administering their land, development has never ended, but they started developing their countries and their neighborhoods from day one, because development never ends. So we started from somewhere. So I would try to tell my brother that it is not true that NHIS were piloted in some districts, and that Nkranza was a self-sustaining scheme, like a Susu cooperative scheme by the Catholic Church. And Nkranza Hospital is a Catholic church, is a Catholic hospital. It is not true that it was being done. If it was, why that in that 2003 when it was being piloted, NDC worked out? I didn't want to go back to these issues because we have moved on as a country. Thank you.
Thank you. The CPP, there's a question for you.
Thank you. As to the issue of the school, the community without even the the kindergarten, according to the community, they had the school. It was not long ago that a neighboring village got access to a better school building facility. And therefore, their school was closed. And the children from the age of 2 have to walk miles to this school. So it's not an issue of accessibility, it is an issue of discrimination among two communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll call on Kofi Boateng to come, and then Frank Adoba and Yawasanti, and we end it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. You see, history, they say, is a relentless master. It has no present. It runs from the past into the future. So history will always have to guide us as to whatever we do. In making our decisions to vote for political parties, we have to examine the records. If you take NDC Manifesto 2008, page 70, they promised us, their flag bearer went everywhere and promised the people of Ghana that they are going to put up 300 secondary schools, 10 training colleges to train teachers that will teach in the kindergartens. Up to now, up to date, the record shows that they have not put up one single school, secondary school, nor training college. And now they've come back to say that when given the chance, they will put up 200. The question I want to ask is, what is the moral justification to ask the people to vote for them again? 2, what has become of the youth in agriculture policy that they've started around the whole place? And apart from the tractors, the farm tractors that were brought to this region by the MPP, where is the tractor services that they claim to have established? Or whether they have added other tractors to it to boost agriculture in the region. And then again, they talk about combined harvesters. Where are the combined harvesters in the Volta region? We are talking of region specific. And no any politics wa mile no mi akpola Volta region de ya eleveve mi na 85%. Gake na merele nu wana de breka gbede elebe na dakpene. Where is the thank you from the NDC? Ezo enye yakpere la sinye match na mi abefiawe. They are our fathers. I was expecting that they will be very neutral. Our chiefs should stand up and fight for us, to tell our politicians to deliver on their promises. Whenever politicians come around, they praise them, they tell them, they speak to the press and tell them, oh, they have done our road for us, they have built this thing for us, when that has not been done. We want our chiefs to be very bold, to stand up to the task, look politicians in the face and tell them the truth. If there is no university and they took them to the bush to cut salt, they should come out and say, you took us there. Where are the structures? We want our university building. This is what I want to ask them to be doing. As for MPP, we respect chiefs. That is why we established the Ministry for Chieftaincy and Culture, and will continue to revere the chiefs of the region. Thank you very much.
Kwaku Boateng. Brother Frank Aduba, give us your question.
Thank you, moderator. Mama. My question goes to PPP. I believe that for some time now, our education policy becomes a musical chair. Any government that comes brings its own policy. So we are trying as much as possible to stick to a consistent education policy. In your submission, you said you will remove BECE out of, and then actually develop another system in terms of selection to senior high school. And that system, you are going to depend on the classroom teacher in terms of maybe assessment. I want to know the modus of operandi or the method in which you are going to use in selecting those people without actually making sure they take part in the BECE examination. As of anybody, me global debate, me global now. And me global to come and say me wanadi. Voter in Jayala, Togo Aton Koremiasi, Agbanale, the better Ghana agenda in Akpongila. This is the Sari development project here, Fisafi, promises Ray. Now, Nawarejiala, NDC number one voter region. I came over and meet properly few. We want to actually address issues. Move forward.
Is it about the BEC issue? Please just limit yourself to the BEC issue.
Thank you very much. What PPP is saying is, if you study the system over the years with reference to Volta region, what is the passes from the BEC for the last 3 years, last year, and then this year, the results that have been released? What are the rates? How many of these students can continue their life to the senior high? Are they going to end there? And with this free education thing we're talking about, it must be on record that PPP launched its manifesto on the 28th of February this year. At the time, our opponents were saying it wasn't possible, it wasn't feasible. Now they've all alluded to it and they are picking on parts of it. Some are saying they'll do only senior high. Some are saying it is possible, but they can only start in 2016. But we are saying it is possible and it is immediate. Why we say we should abolish the BEC is we have continual assessment for every child. We have classroom works that are being marked all the time. We have homework that are being marked all the time. We have class contribution that any good teacher can tell, looking at his class, that, oh, Kojo is good, Amma is good, Afi is not too good. So I think Afi should repeat. That is what we're talking about. When you get to JSS 3, in your last term, your teacher should be able to assess. And so 15 students out of 20 are good enough to continue to a senior high with your homework, your classwork, and your class performance. That alone is enough assessment. We shouldn't be going to pushing these children. Most of them at this tender age don't really understand what they are doing. That's what we are saying. And if we look at the free senior high school policy, for instance, it means in the Volta region, we will have several students that will not enjoy this policy because they've not passed in the first place. That is what we're saying. So when we take this one out, the assessments are there. You get to a senior high, then by that time you're able to think properly, articulate issue comprehensively. Then the WASI will assess you to continue to wherever you want to continue to. Thank you.
Thanks very much. We were supposed to have started at exactly 10 o'clock. We started at 10:30, and it is now exactly 2 o'clock. So if I want to remain on the precept that we should be doing 4 hours, I'll extend this program to 2:30. But I don't want to do that. So we are taking the last question, and then we'll round off the program. Mr. Yawasante, let's take you as the last questioner, and then we go. Thank you.
Mr. Moderator, I am in a state of stolidity about the topic we are sharing today. We are asking the political parties what they are doing for this region in the field of agriculture, infrastructure, and all those things. But I could see them narrating their manifestos to what they can do for Volta region. I arrived in Volta region some years back, and they tell me that Volta region, we are poor. We are not poor. Even they should include Volta region to the 3 northern regions, so as governments that go and come will do what? Will support Volta region. Now, in all their narration, I didn't hear any of them telling me that maybe from Chito through Enyawasi, the mangoes that come, we are going to transform it into something. Maybe getting to look by Alapati, there is a mountain there. With my own investigation, they said there is a bauxite in that mountain. What research have they done so as they will be implementing on them to boost their capacity? I mean, our children who have finished schools, so that they will remain here and develop the region. Now let us climb this mountain here, Dr. Lethia's place. You go see Mabo. what are they doing to transform or to translate it into the human capacity of voters here? So me, they told me, ask a question, what are you doing for the region? But they dodge the question and say the elevation of chiefs. He's not thinking about the chiefs. He is thinking about what the political parties are doing for the region. Though developments have gone and come, but I don't see anything work for voter region. So I am advocating voter development party. The chiefs should sit all our political parties down. Anyone who wins this election, I don't see why NPP cannot go to NDC, PPP cannot go to NDC or NPP, so that we will team together with our chiefs to see the development of voter region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Awasante. We were talking about the development agenda for the Volta region, and I wonder whether the individual party manifestos have regionalized their priorities. They don't. So if it is an innovation that you want to bring into the system, we have listened. Maybe when they go home, they will do their homework. They cannot answer any questions now, but